I'm an addicted reader in foreign languages, and I cannot spend a day without craving for books. In this video, I share with you my addiction. Not so many years ago, I used to be a vacation reader. I used to read only the books that I needed to read at my university. Reading books was a waste of time for me, and I really didn't have any desire to read books in my free time. Today, I'm the player. Thanks to the habits I developed, I fell in love with reading. I'm reading plenty of books every year in different languages and on vast variety of different topics. My first contact with the book in the foreign language was at my studies, my master's degree, when I for the first time realized that I'm able to read in a foreign language, and this was really revealing experience for me. Not only that I was able to find out new things in a foreign language, to learn new things in English, on the other hand, I realized that my English was better and better every day because of reading in this language. Very quickly, I loved the idea of reading in a foreign language, and I started reading novels, and I fell in love with Dan Brown, and quickly I read all his novels, and I really fell in love with the idea of reading in foreign languages. Not long after that, I tried to read in other languages as well, in languages in which I had a certain level of proficiency at that time, and soon after I was reading in 4 languages. I cannot explain you enough how rich I feel today because of all this experience, all novels and authors that I was able to read in all these different languages, and I was able to live the lives of the heroes in all those novels and to find many interesting books, to read some of the chefs-d'oeuvre in different languages. Even nowadays, I really enjoy reading literature in the original language. This makes me so happy and fulfilled. Nowadays, when I develop the habit, I read at least 50 books a year, and I use different forms of books, of course, whether these are hard copies, ebooks or audiobooks, depending on the free time I have on my disposal. Thus, I am literally the player, reader that reads on different topics and that reads at the same time more books in different languages. I cannot help it. But it took me years to create the habit and love for reading, and it literally has some steps that you should do. This is something that I will recommend to you if you want to become a dedicated reader. First is really simple. You have to start. So even if you are at the very beginner level in a foreign language, you simply have to start. You have literature that is dedicated for beginners in foreign languages, so literature that is written, for instance, for A1 or A2 level. So in every language, literally, you can find this sort of literature. One of the most important things, if you want to become a regular reader, is to find the literature that you really love. So you have to explore the topics of your interest and at the same time connect easy content and interesting. So the content that you want to read and you can understand, whether it is at A1, A2, B1 level. The thing that helped me a lot in order to become a regular reader is designation of the time frame in which I'm supposed to read every day. So you have to select a time frame in which you are going to read, whether this will be half an hour or an hour in the morning or in the evening. You have to have the certain time slot in which you will dedicate yourself towards reading. Another thing that I consider super important is connecting the part of the day with the content, particular content that you are supposed to read. For instance, I used to read the the most demanding content in the morning because the level of my energy is the highest in the morning. So in the morning I will take some complex texts, for instance, the languages in which I have the biggest level of proficiency, for instance in English, I will explore topics that are really complex in the morning. On the other hand, I will leave the content that is easy and very interesting in the evening when I feel tired and I can focus only for like 15 or 20 minutes. Someone would probably say that I'm boring with this, but I really consider track records as a very important thing on your step towards becoming a dedicated reader, because you will make yourself responsible if you track your progress. For instance, I do this every month. I have folders for every month, how many books I read, and of course for the languages I also have a special table in which I write how many hours I spent reading. What will definitely help you make progress with reading is filling the gaps during the day and using these gaps for reading. For instance, I used to read when I commute. I literally bring books everywhere I can, so there is always a chance that you will wait for something, and why not fill in the gaps and use this 5 or 10 minutes for reading an interesting novel or something that you want to learn. What will make you a better reader is, of course, removing distractions. So when I'm in my apartment and want to read, I used to put my phone on sleep mode and remove all distractions that I can in order to focus on the content. And the rule that made me become a good reader, I would say, and I know it's not politically correct, but I have to tell you, you don't have to read every book that you start. So if the book is not fulfilling your expectation and you consider it boring, you just put it away and move forward. There are so many books that are over there waiting for your attention. So don't waste your time with wrong books. Reading books in foreign languages really changed my life, and I believe that there is no better method to find an information and learn a skill and gain a knowledge. I believe there is no better way of absorbing the language than through the original content in this language. Besides, I think that this really helps you develop this way of thinking in the target language when you're using the original content in the foreign language. On the other hand, I cannot stress enough how reading in a foreign language helped me develop ideas about the language, about the culture. I would say that reading an interesting content in a foreign language enhanced immensely my attention and my ability to focus on the content, because it is much harder to understand when you are not reading in your native language. And besides that, it is really inducing your patience, because you have to be focused all the time and you cannot wait to finish the book in the foreign language, because it is in a way a sort of an immense challenge. I would say that there is no better way to absorb the language, and this is literally the most effective way to become a master of a foreign language, through the original content, to dedicating your time with something that someone that is proficient in the language has written. And obviously, reading as a sort of input would affect your output, and it will definitely make you a better speaker in the target language. So please dedicate yourself and become a reader. The benefits would be amazing. As from some drawbacks of reading so many books in foreign languages, I would say that yes, for sure, reading so many books in foreign languages would definitely make you forget some of the things, some of the words. It will definitely affect your memory in a way that you cannot remember everything that you read. On the other hand, setting the ambitious goal of reading, for instance, 60 books per year means that you will have to make a sort of balance regarding your books. So regarding the long long and short books that you are supposed to read, and on the other hand, complex and easy books. If you want to reach this benchmark, you have to somehow make a balance, and these books that you are supposed to read, they cannot all be complex and too long. On the other hand, if you want to become a devoted reader, of course, this will reduce your free time for doing some other activities, such as social activities. So if you want to read an hour or two per day, you simply won't be able to do other things. And this is true, you have to choose something. However, I cannot stress enough how reading so many books in so many languages changed my life, and how many benefits I gained from dedicating my time towards reading books. And I really don't regret it for any second. Let me know what is your favorite book that you read in 2024. If you love this video, please consider liking and sharing it, and don't forget to subscribe and click that notification button in order to be notified every time I publish a new video. See you in the next one.